All right, breaking news here. The countdout's going to cover it. CM Punk reportedly leaving WWE. Straight up, he's gone.
Yeah, he pretty much took
What-
his ball and went home. From what apparently people are saying.
What
That
people? What?
on
What?
Monday
the,
night. Sorry.
Yeah. What's being said is that CM Punk, he's been working injured. CM Punk's unhappy with the direction WWE's going. He's unhappy with part time. He's unhappy. He's just unhappy in general and just wanted to go home. Apparently, his contract was going to expire in like July, so he's going to leave then. But I guess he just decided to leave now. Which
Well, he has been talking, saying he's like, "Oh, my contract expires. I don't know if I'm going to resign or not." Kind of playing it
yeah.
on the fences.
Well, and then also apparently I didn't watch Monday Night Raw, but apparently they rewrote it and everything was kind of scrambled, and now they're going to do Bryan versus Triple H instead of CM Punk versus Triple H.
Yeah, they were going to do, obviously, the corporation with Kane, all stuff, keeping CM Punk down. The idea was to bring Triple H versus CM Punk at Mania, and that was the big match. And the other match was to be Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, but now they're switching up.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan's going to face Triple H at WrestleMania.
And it's kind of like, it kind of makes sense. That I don't think this is fake. I do think it's real, and if it is fake, then they're really. I mean, if it is fake, they're doing a really good job because, I mean, part of me thinks it is fake, but I mean, they pulled them from all live events, and they didn't really like announce it or anything. They didn't really put in a storyline like CM Punk leaving. So I mean, it's just kind of weird how it's being done. And then also, like we said, like there was no Kane apparently on Raw, and a lot of people I remember when I was reading the Bleacher Report, they're like, "Oh, CM Punk and Kane weren't on. That's kind of weird. Probably be on next week." So I mean. There's just like a bunch of those like little things that like I don't know.
That point out that it could be
Yeah.
a real thing. No, absolutely.
And plus
Well,
CM Punk, no offense, he's kind of a like douche, and like I like Punk. I think he's a great wrestler, and also because he's from Chicago, obviously helps a little bit. But I if it's true that he's leaving, if it's for injuries, then that's fine. I understand that. But if he's just leaving because he didn't get a headline WrestleMania, I think that's ridiculous. Because I mean. If you don't want to do it anymore, that's one thing. But if you're just complaining about not headlining WrestleMania, I mean, come on. Think about guys like Wade Barrett or The Miz or people who have fallen so far and are just
Wade
like
Barrett always pops up with you.
because what does he do? He gives bad news and he's not even wrestling anymore. Dolph Ziggler, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
There's someone else to bring up.
Yeah, really buried. No, I know exactly what you're saying, but
And I know I always bring up Wade Barrett, but Wade Barrett is a perfect analogy of that. I mean, how far has he been buried? I mean, he was headlining at one time, like Survivor Series and all that, which was like one of the biggest pay-per-views at a time.
Yeah, I don't know if this storyline or not. It reminds me, obviously, it's kind of interesting how, because 2 years ago he had the whole storyline he was leaving and then came back, and then TNA did that whole storyline where AJ was leaving.
And then he ended up
And
actually leaving.
and then he ended up actually leaving.
But we still don't know if he actually left because some people feel like he is still there.
But he keeps denying it, and TNA keeps denying it, and now CM Punk is in the same predicament, so you think like, I wonder if WWE's like, we should have done the storyline a little bit better. Let's redo it again.
Yeah.
Or
But
Punk's really leaving.
just how it's being done, how it's being portrayed right now,
It seems like it may...
It seems like it might be real, and apparently Punk's taking some independent dates. I don't know if I saw that or not, but that's the rumor. And apparently, like now, one thing that people are saying is maybe Punk will go to TNA, and that I don't know. I mean,
Well, a lot
maybe,
of people say
maybe.
Punk hates TNA.
I don't know if he hates.
And I don't know if he... Yeah, I know. I know when he was there, he felt like he wasn't used right or whatever because he was in Raven's little gang and all that stuff. And he has
Bigger
made fun of
aspirations.
TNA.
Yeah.
But the big thing he made fun of TNA was he made fun of Hulk Hogan. He made fun of some things that they did. But he promoted it during like some Comic-Con thing when Aries won the championship because they're finally doing something right.
Can I say something though? I think that TNA has been so much better recently. Like, they were doing really good when we first started watching in like mid 2012 when Bobby Roode was the champion. And then kind of like in 2013, around the build to Bound for Glory, they started kind of losing it a little bit. There seemed like there was a lot of people leaving, a lot of changes. But then right at Bound for Glory and afterwards, they started really getting their stuff together. And they've been doing really good since.
Yeah, well...
And with the UK tour coming up, who knows? I don't think Punk will show up in the UK tour, but you never know. Punk might go to TNA.
Well, people are saying Punk's a secret investor and all that stuff, which is total garbage. It's not going to happen.
If it did, though, oh my
If
goodness.
it did, he'd be sued so far up the horse, it'd be ridiculous. Because he's still under contract with WWE till July, and then if he leaves, he's got that 90-day no compete clause.
Yeah.
On TV, and it's not going to happen. I said, if Punk comes by, he might come back Bound for Glory. I mean. Maybe he might come back to TNA. TNA, like Lucas said, they've been doing a great job lately, and maybe
And
Punk
plus,
sees
you know what?
that.
And,
He
and
can
then
really...
also, can I say one thing? Punk obviously likes to wrestle, and there's a bunch of guys at TNA I bet he would have great matches with. Aries again, Bobby Roode, You know, he would have great matches with Hardy again, Bully Ray.
Well, some of those guys, we haven't seen those matches in a long time. If you watch ROH, have you ever seen? He's had those matches with like AJ Styles. Everyone's like, oh, CM Punk AJ Styles dream match. They fought 3 times in ROH. I think him and Joe fought.
Yeah, I mean, but then you got, like I said, dream matches, like maybe Punk and Rude or Punk and Angle. Well, no, I don't know if we've had Punk and Angle.
No.
Nope, there you go. There's a match right there, Punk and Angle.
Well, Punk did say that.
Punk and Magnus.
They asked him in an interview, who would you like to wrestle? He goes, Samoa Joe. They go, okay, who would you like to wrestle independent promotion? Samoa Joe. They're like, no, you already said Samoa Joe. He goes, yeah, I know. We said independent. He goes, I know. Considering TNA's not a real, promotion. And the reason why he may be leaving is because he's upset with the part-timers. He's upset with Batista winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, main event. It's something he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he also stated that this was Bryan's year. And I think WWE, we already talked about in the Royal Rumble, I think WWE missed their mark on making, I think the biggest thing was to Bryan to win at WrestleMania would be the biggest storyline, but obviously they want to give it to Batista. Whatever, that's a whole other thing.
But pretty much,
if CM Punk would leave, he wants to be the John Cena. He wants to be the main guy, and I think him going to TNA and building it from what it is now,
he could really help TNA. I think people like TNA's gotten pretty much like Kurt Angle. That was one of the biggest guys at the time, and it did help TNA. But if they got someone like Punk or Cena or Bryan or never Triple H, but that a lot of things would have to go wrong for Triple H to go to TNA. But you know what I'm saying? Like they need that one.
Triple H would just buy TNA so we could literally go over there and bury every single person.
Yeah, he'd just go and like Bobby Roode would like walk out and he'd just kick Bobby Roode in the nuts. And then Austin Aries would come, and Austin Aries would like have a cup of water, and Triple H would just spill it all over him and just beat him up. Oh man.
I think Punk could do it. I think Punk could go to TNA. I think Punk going to TNA would be a huge thing.
I think that'd be
for him. I know he says he doesn't really need the money, and so TNA obviously doesn't need to give him.
TNA doesn't have the money.
Well, exactly. So TNA doesn't have to give him a $5 million contract, but they give him something close to staying or whatever.
And plus, they can obviously do like a light schedule. If he just wants to work some events here and there, I'm sure they'd be fine with that. Like he could be like a Brock Lesnar for them. Work like Bound for Glory. Work the pay-per-views. Lockdown, Slammiversary, Bound for Glory.
Well, I'd try to get at least Punk in the beginning, a busy schedule through his like first year. So when people start coming, oh, here's Punk. Then when people start seeing it, meeting all these other wrestlers, Bobby Roode, your James Storms, your Gunners, your Sabins, Austin Aries, and all that stuff, they're like, oh wow, these guys are actually really good too. So when Punk slowly disappears, then it wouldn't be as much impact. But I think Punk should go to TNA if he actually is leaving.
I do think Punk makes a good fit for TNA, and I don't think that'd be like disgracing his legacy or anything like that. I think it'd be a smart move because he can get a lighter schedule. TNA is a lighter schedule. That's why Angle likes it so much. That's why all the wrestlers like that. And just if Punk goes there, they're obviously gonna push him, but they're not gonna push him to the moon. Okay. TNA, I think, finally realized what they're doing. They have to have a good mixture of new and old talent.
The only good thing though about pushing, the thing that everyone hated about TNA was pushing like all WWE guys. It wasn't like the Andersons or the Cages that they were pushing to the moon. It was like the Nashes and these guys that were already way past their prime. CM Punk's still in his prime.
Kind of. I mean,
and I think that would be, he would be someone I would push as our
and then
main
also
star.
A reason for the limited schedule is if Punk's working with injuries, he's obviously kind of like, I guess you could say even like the Undertaker. Undertaker only does like one WrestleMania, like one match a year because he's injured a lot. Because that one WrestleMania takes a toll on him. So having Punk, like you said, would just work a limited schedule with TNA, he would help give TNA publicity. He'd get a good, nice paycheck, and it wouldn't be too hard with him. And he could still live nice and wrestle some great matches, which I know he still wants to do. So pretty much, this whole thing with Punk leaving WWE, it might be real. I think it's more likely real than it is fake, but you never know with wrestling. There's always curves and swerves.
It's just all over the place. It really is.
But leave a comment down below, or message us on Twitter at the Countout, and just tell us what you guys think, because this is really I did not expect this. Just it kind of came out of the blue. I came home today from school. And I looked at wrestling, and I was like, wait, Punk leaving WWE?
Yeah, I heard some things where he was upset about Batista winning, and then all of a sudden it's like that he just went home.
Well, what are you going to do?
So
That's life.
Yeah. It's just going to have to wait and see what happens in the next coming weeks then.
Definitely. And who knows, maybe this is going to help WWE. People are going to tune in and be like, wait, what happened? And then they're going to have a huge viewership spike. You never know. Punk's a pretty big name. He's become a pretty big name.
He has been. So we will see all of you later.
All right. Peace out.
Rock and roll.